Okay, this is Mod 1, Lesson 5, homework. On question 1, some I've already done for you. I'm going to start with B. B says 35 thousandths. Now, the way I've shown you in class is to take that 35 and put it in the thousands position. So I'm going to put 35 right in the thousands position. Now, we know that you can only have one digit in each place value. So I'm going to come down, put the 5 in the thousandths, and this 3 is actually 3 groups of 10, and we're going to regroup that to the hundreds position. And then we need to fill in our place value on our tenths with a placeholder and fill in our decimal. So 35 thousandths, as you can see, they've done in B, is 35 thousandths. Now, on C, it's asking for 9 and. And tells you that's decimal point. So 9 is before the and, so that is a whole number. So I'm going to write the number 9 right before the decimal point. Now it says 235 thousandths. So I'm going to go ahead and write 235 thousandths in here. Now I'm going to place them in the proper place values. The 5 goes in the thousandths, my 3 goes in the hundredths, and my 2 would go in the tenths. And I'm going to bring my 9 down. So our answer would be 9 and 235 thousandths. On D, I'll go back and erase some of these. So we have some room. So our next one says 800 and. Well, 800 and, that means and is here, so I have to put my whole number before that. And it says 800. So I'll put 800s and fill in my zeros. Next says 5 thousandths. So I'm going to put the 5 in the thousandths position. Now there's only one digit in that place value, so that's good, but I still have to go through my hundreds and my tenths and fill in my placeholders. So we can see that would be 800 and 5 thousandths. E says 8 thousandths. So I'm going to place my 8 in the thousandths position. Now that's one digit in that place value, so I can leave it there. I just have to put in my placeholders. So we can see, just as they already got, it was 8 thousandths. F, 28 thousandths. I'm going to put 28 in the thousandths. Now, once again, only one in each place value, so the 8 comes here. The 2 is actually 2 groups of 10, so I'm going to move that to here, put in my place value and my decimal point. So we end up with 28 thousandths. On G, we have 7 and 528 thousandths. And I'm saying and because 7 is shown as a whole number, so I'm putting 7. And 528 thousandths. Now if I regroup these, the 8 comes here, the 2 goes here. Now number 2A, it shows us wanting us to go to word problems. Excuse me, word form. So the easiest way, I'm going to show you how they did number 8. It says 8, I'm going to put it in the place value. We have 8, 0, 0 in our decimal and 0. And you read this as 8 thousandths because you read the last digit and the place value. As you can see, 8 thousandths is exactly the word form that was put in here. On our second one, let's go ahead and plug it in, place value. And I'm going to read this as I go. Here's 15 because I'm reading my whole number, 15. So I'm going to spell out 15. And for my decimal point. Now I'm just going to read the decimal like a whole number, 62, and I have to read the place value for the last digit, 62 thousandths. So it'll be 62 thousandths. Our last one, let's go ahead and write it in. I'm going to read my whole number first, 607. And you're going to write it exactly as you just said it. Now I've got a decimal point, so that's and 4. Now I'm going to read my decimal just like a whole number. 409. And now I have to read the last digit's place value, thousands. Using the place value really helps you on this activity. Number 3, now we're going to expanded form. And you can see in the front one, all you're going to do is you're going to multiply the digit times the place value and add it to the next digit. So A is done for you, so let's go to B and let's go ahead and write it into our problem. Now here I have 0 ones. Okay, I can put 0 times 1, but I would end up 0, so it's really not needed. So next, first I'm going to go is 3, and it's in tenths. So I'd go 3 times 1/10, and I have to add it to the next digit, which is 6, times 1/100th plus 2 times 1/1000th. Now, the only thing we can change on this possibly, as you notice on top, we could possibly write it as a decimal, which would be 3 times 1/10 plus 6 times 100ths plus 2 times 1,000ths. Our last number, 49 and 564. So let's start with our 4, and that's 4 times 10 plus, because that's 4 times the place value. 5 times the place value is 5 times 1 plus 5 times tenths, 5 times 1/10 plus 6 times 1/100th plus 4 times 1,000th. Now we're going to do the opposite. We're actually going to take the numbers and we're going to turn them back into standard form. So first off, I'm looking at the first digit, 3 times 10. So I'll put the 3 in the tens place. 5 times 1, that's the 5 in the ones place. 2 times 1/10, so a 2 in the tens place. 7 times 1/100th, so 7 in the hundreds place. 6 times 1,000, 6 in the thousands place. It's nothing more than putting the digit in the place value. So let's go to B. 9 times 100, 9 is the 100 place. 2 times 10, 2 in the hundreds, 2 in the tens place. 3 times 1/10, so 3 in the tens place. 7 times 1,000ths, 7 in the thousands. Now notice on this one I have 2 empty place values. You have to put in your placeholders. Our last one, 5 times 1,000. I'm going to have to make another quick block over here for 1,000. So we got 5, 4 times 100ths, 8 times 1, 6 times 100ths, and 5 times 1,000ths. Once again, we have a couple placeholders we need to put in, and there's our final number. 5. At the beginning of a lesson, a piece of chalk is 4 and 875 thousandths inches long. At the end of the lesson, it is 3 and 125 thousandths inches long. Write the two amounts in an expanded form using fractions. Okay, remember it said using fractions, not decimals. So I'm going to take the first one, which is 4 875, and write it in here. The second amount was 3 and 125. So on the first one, it's going to be 4 times 1, because it's in the ones place, plus 8 times, and it says fraction, so I got to go 1/10 place, plus 7 times, this is the hundredths place, so it'll be 1/100th, plus 5 times 1/1000th. The second one, 3 times the ones place, plus 1 times the 1/10, plus 2 times 1/100th, plus 5 times 1/1000th. Number 6. Ms. Herman asked the class to write an expanded form of 412 and 638 thousandths. Nancy wrote the expanded form using fractions. Charles wrote the expanded form using decimals. Write their responses. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and put 412 and 638. Now it says Nancy used fractions, so let's go ahead and 4 times hundreds place, 100, plus 1 times 10, plus 2 times 1, plus 6 times 1/10, because she used fractions, plus 3 times 1/100th, plus 8 times 1/1000th. Now it says Charles used decimals, so it's going to look the same except for the last part. That's 4 times 100, plus 1 times 10, plus 2 times 1, plus 6 times, instead of the fraction this time we're going to put 1/10, plus 3 times 100th, plus 8 times 0.001. It's 1/1000ths.